There we go. So the
Okay.
first, okay, grammar directly. Grammar. Complete the sentences with infinitives. Oh, this is good. So, any volunteer who'd like to read the sentences? I mean, at least activity one.
Uh,
Okay, Lydia?
sí.
Okay, good.
Two.
Yes.
Thanks for coming. For coming. We hope to see you again soon. Three.
Wonderful. Mhm. Yes,
He
continue.
wasn't enjoying the lasagna, so he decided don't to finish it. No, esto no sé si está bien. O not to finish it. No sé cómo es.
Not to finish. Yeah.
Not to finish. Yes. Not to finish. Four. My boyfriend is unemployed. He needs to find a job.
Mhm.
Five. I tell you what she said, but please promise not to tell anybody.
Good.
Six. I'm sorry. I shouted at you. I tried not to do it again. Seven. They want to live together. They're planning to rent a flat.
Wonderful. Yeah, good. So we have number two was to see, number three, not to finish, four, to find, five, not to tell, six, not to do, and seven, to rent. We good?
Okay.
Great.
Yes.
Okay, activity B. Write sentences using the adjective and the correct form of the verb. All right. So who would like to read number? No, not number. Letter B.
Me?
I can.
Okay. Okay. Cari and Carlos, maybe activity C.
Okay.
Okay, good. So Cari B, Carlos C.
Okay. I start. Write sentences using the adjective and the correct form of the verb. First, hello, how to meet you? ¿No? Esa es la primera.
Yes.
Two, do you find that difficult? Do you find it difficult to talk to my mom? Three, it's easy to buy presents for my girlfriend. Four, it's important not to say the wrong thing. Five, thank you for calling. It was great to hear from you. Six, it's fun to be with your family. And last seven, her parents were very kind to invite him.
Okay, excellent. So we have number two, difficult to talk. Three, easy to buy. Four, important not to say. Five, great to hear. Six, fun to be. And seven, kind to invite.
Okay.
Good. All right. Great. Carlos, activity C.
Okay. One, he gave them some chocolate to say thank you. Two, they're going to evening classes to study Chinese. Three, we called the restaurant to book a table. Four, he told us a joke to make us laugh.
Laugh.
laugh. Five, I went to a cash machine to get some money or to extract,
To,
no?
to
To get,
get, I mean, you can say extract, but get is okay.
okay. Six, do you use your phone to take photos?
Good, excellent. So in activity C, we have number two to study, number three to book, four to make, five to get, and six to take.
I put in 12 in the two
Uh-huh.
to learn Chinese. It's okay to learn Chinese or no?
Yeah, yeah, it's possible to say to learn. Yeah,
Okay.
to study, to learn. Yeah,
Okay.
good. Okay, great job, people. What do we have next? Oh, D. Complete the sentences with a question word from the list and to plus the verb in bracket. Wow. Okay, again, any volunteer here? I take that as a no. That sounds like a no. All right, let's
I,
see.
I can.
Good. Yeah, okay.
No sé si
All you,
compañía.
all, apparently no. So it's all yours.
Great.
Yes.
Oh. One. She gave me her address, but I don't know how to get there. Two. My brother is always busy, so I don't know when to call him. Three. My mom asked me to get some eggs, but she didn't say how many to buy. Four. We'd like to travel around the world, but we don't know where to go first. Five. She wants to go to university, but she doesn't know what to study. Six. Who's who's go who's going to be here for lunch? I have pasta, but I need to know how much to make.
Good. Okay, excellent. So we had number 2 was when to call, number 3 how many to buy, 4 where to go, 5 what to study, and 6 how much to take. Wonderful. And then activity 2, you had to complete the text with a verb from the list in the past tense. Wow. Okay, so a little past tense revision here. Um, Again, any volunteer, anyone who feels like talking? Elizabeth?
Yes, yes.
Okay, wonderful.
Charlie wasn't happy at his work, so he started to apply for a new job. Soon one company called him and offered to give him in an interview. Charlie not wanted to tell his boss, so he pretended to be ill. He told his boss that he had a stomach ache and he needed to go to the doctor. His boss promised to call him later to ask him how he was. Charlie was really hoping to get the job, so he was a bit nervous. He planned to drive to the interview, but there was a lot of traffic. In the end, he took the underground and was very late, and he not remembered to turn his mobile phone off. Unfortunately, it rang while he was in the interview, but Charlie didn't answer it. However, when his boss called later, he forgot to act ill. The next morning, his boss said, "I'd like to see you in my office." Charlie tried to apologize, but his boss was very angry and Charlie nearly lost his job. But he learned an important lesson not to lie to his boss again.
Okay, good. Give me 1 second because there's something that I want to show you all. But I have to find it first.
Numbers three.
Okay, we're going to discuss. Can you see on screen the past simple
Sí.
structure?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So, this is just for you to remember, right? We have past simple, regular verbs, right? The ones that end in ed, right? I walked, he played, we studied. And irregular verbs, of course, we have to go to the list, right? Make, made, ring, rang, go, went. Now, the negative sentences. This is what's important. We use didn't. Okay. So, for example, it was, I believe, in number
Three.
Three.
Two.
Number three.
Three.
You're two, wait.
Didn't want.
Didn't want to tell his boss, right? Was it? Yeah, number three. Number three, that is negative. As it is negative, we have to use didn't. Didn't want to tell his boss. Okay, and remember that if we use didn't, the verb is in infinitive. Okay, there's no conjugation there of the verb. And then, well, if we have a question, of course, we use did in the question, the subject, and the verb in infinitive form. But remember, negative sentences with didn't. And what happens if, for example, we have the verb be? Because this is with verbs, regular, irregulars. But what happens if the sentence says, for example, not be? What
Was
do we
or
do?
were.
Okay. Wasn't, weren't.
Oh, wasn't were. Negative.
Okay, because the verb to be has its own negative form. Lo digo en español para que quede clarísimo. Recuerden que el verbo to be tiene su propio negativo y no usa didn't. Entonces, didn't para verbos regulares y irregulares, excepto en los irregulares con el verbo to be, porque el verbo to be tiene su propia forma negativa e interrogativa, o sea que no usa auxiliar. ¿Sí? Okay, we good?
Yes.
Yes. So activity 2 we have activity 2. Number 2 we have offered. 3 is didn't want. 4 pretended. 5 needed. 6 promised. 7 planned. 8 forgot.
Seven.
It's 45.
45.
Okay. So we're going to do only one activity here, activity 1C, that says complete the text with the ing form of these verbs. So we have a list of verbs there, and you have to complete the text that is below with those verbs. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So I'll give you a 5 while I check all the things that I closed, and
Okay.
we'll correct it in 5 minutes. Okay?
Profe, página
45.
45.
Yes.
Ah,
1C. Okay.
okay.
Well, number 1 is done. Writing and then sending a funny email to my friends. And of course, what is number 3?
Imagining.
Imagining.
Imagine.
Yes. Excellent. Okay. Who would like to read number 2?
Me.
Shop.
Okay. Wait. Raise your hand so I can see who to call. Okay. So let's see. Andre? Hi.
Okay.
Okay. Andre?
Yes. Number 2. I really like driving at night when there is no traffic. Listening to my favorite music, I feel completely free.
Okay, excellent. So number 4 is driving and 5 listening. Great. Okay, number 3, Claudia?
Number 3, staying in bed on Sunday morning and reading the newspaper. Getting up very late and taking my dog for a long walk.
Excellent. So number 6 is staying, 7 reading, 8 getting up. Wonderful. Andrea, next one.
Yes. Me quedó la mano levantada, pero...
Ah, yes. Well,
No.
never mind.
Lo leo, prof.
Okay.
Number 4. I enjoy going to the gym and really exercising hard. Then having a long hot shower followed by a nice cold drink. There is nothing better.
Good. So we have number 10 going, 11 exercising, and 12 having. Okay,
Yes.
the last two, Noe?
Yes. Turning off my computer and the end of the day and leaving work.
It's the best moment of the day. I love it.
Exactly. Okay, wonderful. So we have turning and leaving. Great. Well, then you'll have the corrections on the platform. Okay, but so far, excellent, people. All right. Well, did we do page 138? Because I didn't write it down, so I don't know. Did we do it? Page 138?
I believe
I don't
yes.
know because I leave early.
Okay, fine.
Okay. So this is on the rest, the grammar bank. All the activities from the grammar bank.
7C.
Yes. Let me check.
Must and
Page.
mustn't.
Yes, page 139. Did we do it? I think so. Because I remember we discussed this page.
Yes, teacher, we do that.
Yes, we did it. Oh, wonderful.
Oh,
Okay, so what do you remember about must, mustn't, have to, don't have to? Tell me.
Eh, you
Yo
have, creo que
también.
es opcional y must o mustn't es obligado, sí, es obligatorio, creo.
terminante, obligado, obligación.
Uh-huh. All
So it's,
right.
it's prohibited.
Okay. Let me let me show you a picture that I sent you. Because in that picture it was quite clear what it was about. Let's see. Don't tell me that I don't have it. Okay. This one, remember? Well, if you don't, I'll tell you.
Okay.
So we have must, express personal obligation, express what the speaker thinks is necessary, and express subjective obligation. For example, I must go to bed earlier, or you must answer all the questions, right? So these obligations come from the person, okay? Have to, it says express impersonal obligation. The subject is obliged or forced to act by a separate external power. For example, the law or school rules. Express objective obligation. Okay? So must and have to mean obligation. Must is personal or social. Have to is related to institutions or the law. Okay? For example, I have to arrive at work at 9. That is because that's my work timetable. Yes?
Okay.
You good? Okay, all right. And then mustn't, it is prohibited, it is not allowed, it is important that you do not do something. The prohibition can be subjective, the speaker's opinion, or objective. So both subjective and objective. And then don't have to, there is no obligation, you are not required to do something, especially if you don't want to. So there is no obligation, okay, when we use don't have to. For
Mhm.
example, you don't have to drive, I can do it. So it's not necessary that you drive because I can do it. Okay? But if I say in the army you mustn't go out after 9, that is an obligation, right?
Claro.
Or you mustn't drink wine if you are driving, for example. That is an obligation. Okay? So those are the differences between these four structures. Okay, are we okay with this?
Yes.
Yes. So we're going to do a little activity before we continue. I think this is the one because I closed, well, not I had a blackout, so I think this was the page. I think if it's not, well, we'll see. Um, okay, any guess?
Do we have to?
Do we have to?
We have to.
Has to. Sorry. Do we
Sí.
It's we.
No, es
Oh,
Do do have to.
okay.
Sí.
Yes. Do we have to? Because is it necessary that we go to bed? Right. So do we have to?
must?
Must.
must.
Okay.
Obligation. Yes.
Haha.
You
Why?
have to.
Okay.
Okay.
Remember, if you're a policeman, right? That means an institution.
Claro, es
Yeah.
una obligación.
Exactly.
Don't have. Don't have to.
Don't
Don't have to.
Claro.
Don't have
Don't
to.
have to. Sí.
es
Mustn't.
Why? That's the question. Why mustn't?
no deberías.
Ah, claro, porque es
Es personal,
peligroso.
subjetiva.
Claro, no es
Subject, exactly.
obligatorio.
Es objetiva, subjetiva.
Subjective, right? It's an obligation, but subjective. This could be a mother, right? Talking to her child.
Sí.
Okay.
I must.
Have to.
Have to.
Is there an institution, a law, a
I
doctor?
No, it's true.
I must.
Sería entonces
Must,
must.
must.
Should.
I thought
Show.
Oh, this is. Oh, look at that. You
yeah.
lost.
And we lost every
only,
day.
only one correct, people. Okay, why should? Why?
Debería.
debería.
It's a,
Por el
Claro,
debería.
deberías tomar el
a
remedio.
recommendation. Okay, this is
Claro.
your
Por
recommendation.
la
Oh, well,
recomendación.
yeah. Okay. Okay, let's do one more. Let's see how it goes.
Bueno, a ver si empatamos.
Two.
At least one more. So,
Yes.
D.
Must.
Sí,
Doesn't
doesn't have to.
No, doesn't have to.
No.
Doesn't.
Shall.
Sí.
Shouldn't.
okay, let's think about this. We're talking about work first of all, right? So we're talking about working. So this is not a recommendation. This is not should, shouldn't. So this is must, mustn't, or have to, doesn't have to. Now the thing is,
Doesn't have to.
Doesn't have.
Doesn't have to.
so if the shop is closed, is it necessary for Harry to go?
No.
No.
Exactly.
Doesn't.
Well, this you know. What's the answer here?
Mustn't.
Don't have to.
Now you know.
Yes.
Now it's easy.
I must.
Okay, two
I
options.
must.
Two options.
I should. I should.
Shouldn't. Shouldn't.
No, I
Negative.
should.
Okay.
I
So
should.
in this sentence,
I must.
should and
Pero
must are possible.
Ah, claro, por eso. Para mí sería must.
Have to.
Yeah.
I must.
The thing here is should and must are possible. Because you can say, oh, I should go now. Debería irme, right? I should go
Sí.
now. Or I must go. Me tengo que ir.
Claro.
But both are subjective. Okay? So let's use must. I must go now. I say, why have to? Oh, well, no context. ¿En qué situación podríamos usar have to en esa oración? Porque es cierto que puede usarse también, pero ¿qué tendría que pasar acá?
De apuro.
Si fuera un doctor.
Tendría que ir a trabajar.
Un deber
pues,
de
Una
obligación.
obligación.
Exacto, si fuese una obligación que viene de una institución o de la ley. El
Ir a un
trabajo,
banco,
ir a un
sí.
banco porque está cerrando, etcétera. Okay, good. O sea que, si lo pensamos, no tenemos contexto, o sea, acuérdense que son frases aisladas. Pero, si fuese simplemente de la persona que está diciendo me tengo que ir, podría ser must o should. Have, acá lo da como correcto porque quizás tiene que ver con una obligación externa. ¿Sí? Puede ser que venga, como dijeron, que cierra el banco, que el trabajo le piden que llegue a cierto horario, algo de la universidad. Okay. Good. This is, you know this.
I should.
Should.
Dijimos.
That's easy.
We must.
Must.
We have to.
Our flight leaves.
Ok. ¿Cuál es la
Tengo un
obligación
horario.
externa? Tengo un horario.
El horario.
Exacto.
It's really difficult. Oh my God.
Profe, ¿no lo puedes explicar en español para entenderlo bien?
I've already
O sea,
done.
la diferencia, ¿no?
La diferencia tiene que ver con de dónde viene la obligación. Must siempre va a ser de la persona, ¿sí? Ya sea porque, no sé, madre a hijo, entre amigos, uno mismo, que se impone algo. Porque must y have to son obligación las dos palabras. Las dos
Claro,
estructuras.
una es como más personal y la otra es como más
objetiva, porque
claro.
no parte de uno o de otra persona, sino que viene de una institución o de la
más
ley.
obligatoria, claro.
Por ejemplo, en el caso del avión, que era, bueno, me tengo que levantar temprano, no es que me tengo que levantar temprano porque tengo ganas o porque tengo ganas de salir a correr, sino que tengo un vuelo. Ya,
claro.
la imposición ya viene de la aerolínea, así que si queremos. ¿Sí? Entonces, de vuelta, must y have to, los dos significan obligación. La diferencia es esa, que es simplemente de dónde viene esa obligación. Si parte de la persona o parte de externa, de una institución o una ley. Y lo que hay que recordar también es que don't have to o doesn't have to indica que algo no es necesario, o sea que podemos elegir si lo hacemos o no.
Y show y don't, ¿qué diferencia hay? Con
recomendación. No, should es una recomendación, no tiene que ver con obligación.
Claro.
Claro, y must sería como una orden, pero sugerente también, digamos.
Claro,
no,
supongamos que...
No toques eso, por ejemplo.
Supongamos que yo les digo, you should do the homework. Ustedes deberían hacer la tarea. Es lo que se espera que hagan, deberían. Pero yo uso ahí eso, deberían, quedan ustedes si lo hacen o no lo hacen. Yo se los recomiendo. Si yo les digo, you must, les estoy diciendo, tienen que hacer la tarea. Yo se los estoy diciendo. Ahora, si la universidad de repente saca un comunicado y dice, bueno, tiene que estar toda la tarea hecha porque si no se los baja del curso, you have to do the homework.
Y en negativo, profe, must.
Va a ser mustn't, porque mustn't sigue siendo obligación, o sea que mustn't
claro.
cubriría todo lo que es obligación. Y don't have to es simplemente no es necesario.
Claro. Ok.
Are we okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
¿Este juego lo va a subir a la plataforma?
Yeah, I'll share it on WhatsApp.
Ah, bueno.
So it's easier. Um, okay, let's see. Show answer because we did a couple. Por ejemplo, la número 10 que dice, It is a great book. You should read it.
Should read
No,
it.
deberías
¿Por qué?
leer.
¿Por qué
Es
puso
una
should?
recomendación.
Es
Recomienda.
una recomendación, no una obligación.
Exacto, estoy recomendando, léelo, está bueno. Sí. Pero, bueno, después vuelvo a repetir la del horno, que obviamente alguien te advierte, no lo toques, está caliente. We must try that new restaurant in town. ¿Sí? Le decís a un amigo, bueno, tenemos que ir. ¿Sí? Must. Recomendación entre amigos. You should wear a scarf today, it's really cold. Deberías usar una bufanda. ¿Sí? Si hace frío, le recomiendas al otro que use una bufanda. Carol shouldn't put so much sugar in her coffee. También está diciendo, bueno, no debería hacerlo. No es una prohibición o que no es necesario.
Claro.
No debería. Okay, are you okay or traumatized?
Está bien.
Yeah, we are good at learning and we have good teachers.
Okay, well, that's one possibility. And Sebastián?
In Latin America, they speak in Spanish and learned and learn in Argentinian for very country speak equal language.
The same. We speak the same language.
The same
Uh-huh.
language.
Yeah, that's a facility, if you like, that we have. I'm sorry, someone said Lourdes, because Spanish is the most difficult language, so the others are easy. Okay, yeah, that could be a little explanation, let's say. Mm-hmm. Good. Okay, any other comment on this? No, nothing. I think that we have a lot, if not, yeah. We have a huge influence. For example, we are exposed to English a lot because of the market, right? We are exposed to English more than any other language, for example. Right? And we are shameless as well. What is shameless?
Sin tenemos vergüenza.
Exactly. I believe that we are also shameless. That if we can if we could invent a language, we would do it. So I think that that's a reason. Okay. Any other comment about this? Well, you have to speak now or remain silent because we're going to listen. This case, the book says, are British people good at learning your language? So do you think it would be easy for a British person to learn Spanish?
Yes.
Yeah, I
For
think.
me, they have more difficult with phonetic.
Sorry, for
Phonetics?
British?
Yeah, a British person learning Spanish. Do you think it would be?
For me, yes.
Mm-hmm. You all think the same?
No, it's very difficult for them.
Okay. Why? What is it difficult about Spanish?
For the verbs, for the
Conjugation.
and times of the verbs. Say that mean?
Exactly, the tenses, right? We have a lot of tenses, many, and in English there are not so many tenses. So yeah, it is to learn Spanish. It is difficult. So we're going to read. This is from. No, where is this? Page 57. Okay, we have a little text there. It says, "I will survive" in Spanish, or will I? So this is the story of I think it's a journalist that he is British and he has to learn Spanish. Who would like to start reading the text? Claudia was right.
Yes. I did a 1 month intensive course in Spanish at a language school in London. I was a complete beginner, but I soon found that some Spanish words are very similar to English ones. For example, hola isn't very different from hello, and English is very similar to English, but other things were more difficult. For example, the verbs in Spanish change for each person, and that means you have to learn a lot of different endings. My biggest problem was the pronunciation. I found I found it very difficult to pronounce some letters in Spanish, especially R and J. I downloaded sentences in Spanish onto onto
Yes.
my phone, and I listened and repeated them again and again.
Okay, excellent. Listened. Okay, good.
Perdón, teacher, ¿cómo es la pronunciación?
Listened.
Listened.
Forget
Gracias.
forget about the T. Okay, wonderful. And Fabian?
Yes, when my course finished, I went to Madrid for the weekend to do my test. A Spanish teacher called Paula came with me and gave me a mark of 10 for each test and then a final mark for every time.
Okay, this, what is below? These were?
Continue. That's
Yeah,
where the
yes.
test. Okay. That's where the test and the rules. Test. You have to one. Order a drink and sandwich in a bar. Ask how much it is and understand the price. 2. Ask for directions in the street and follow them. 3. Get a taxi to a famous place in Madrid. 4. Leave a message on somebody's voicemail. Rules. You mustn't use a dictionary or phrase book. You mustn't speak English at any time. You mustn't use your hands or meme or write anything down.
Okay, good. Be careful, Fabian, with a cold, the past of cold. Cold.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So, what do you think about the test? Is it easy?
So so.
So so.
So.
Okay. What do you think it would be difficult?
I can't do it uh, with the rules.
The
I need
rules.
I need have mine with my hands for
Okay, yeah,
for
that's
explain
something.
what I want.
That's true. We Argentinians like to move our hands a lot. We're very expressive when we speak. So that's difficult for us. That's true. Okay, and that is something we have to pay attention to if we travel, right? Because sometimes a sign with the hands here is not the same and it has not the same meaning as, I don't know. For example, if you say, I don't know, right? And we usually do this thing with we put our hand on our chin and say, I don't know.
Yes.
We do that. And in the US, that means go to hell.
Claro.
So we have to be careful how we move our hands, because again, in another country that can have a different meaning, and you could have trouble or a misunderstanding, right? Not trouble, but a misunderstanding. Okay, we have some questions about this text. This is, again, we're back on page 56. And activity B, okay, there are 6 questions about the text. Okay, so I'll give you 1 minute to take a look at the
Fíjate cualquiera
sentences,
de
at the
estas, a ver si andan
questions.
bien.
I'll give you 2 minutes to take a look at the questions, and then we'll discuss it, okay? Orally, but I'll give you 1 minute to revise the text, okay? And then we discuss the answer to these questions. So, what about the British? Do they have a reputation?
They have a bad reputation at learning languages.
Good.
Yes.
Okay, apparently they're not good at it. There. Okay, number 2. What experiment did Max's newspaper want to do? So, what's the experiment about?
Learn ability new languages for 1 month.
Right, only 1 month. So, imagine. Do you think it's possible to learn a language in a month?
No.
No.
And easy
May
to
You can learn a few words, but not the language.
Okay, yeah,
if
maybe.
they pay you, you have more energy, more concentration.
The basic. The basic.
You are motivated. You have a different motivation, you mean?
yeah,
Yes,
all day is possible. All day, yeah. For me,
Yeah.
all day, not eight, no,
Okay,
10
maybe.
hours per day. 10.
Right, if you use 20 hours each day, right? You dedicate 20 hours each day. Maybe. Um, okay. Number 3, it says, why did Max choose to learn Spanish? So,
Because he would like to visit Spain in Latin America.
yeah, he wants to travel. And yeah, he
yes, he
mentions,
likes Spanish countries.
good. Okay, good. That was 3. Number 4, where did he do the course? Do you remember?
In London.
London.
In London, and for how much time?
For a month.
One.
A month. Yeah, exactly. Okay, good. Then, what did he find easy and what was difficult about learning Spanish? So, what is easy about Spanish?
It's easy.
Some words
Some
are
words.
similar in
Some.
between both languages.
Okay, good. Some words are very similar. And what is or what was difficult?
Uh, the pronunciation for
Pronunciation
Yes, the pronunciation and the tenses, tenses.
and
letters
The verbs.
in
le-
Spanish.
okay, some the pronunciation of some letters, yes, and tenses, right? Verb tenses. Good. And numbers 6. What were the 4 tests? What were the rules? So what about the tests? What does he have to do?
Order a drink,
Order a
a
drink,
bar, ask for directions in
ask
the
for
street,
directions,
get a taxi,
get a taxi, and
leave a message.
leave a message
Message.
on the phone. Okay, good. And what about the rules?
He mustn't use a dictionary, and he mustn't speak English
Uh-huh.
at any time.
And one more thing.
Use your hands or mind.
He must or
You
mustn't?
mustn't.
Mustn't. He mustn't. Wonderful.
Or write anything down.
Okay, good. Nice. Okay, we're going to listen. Okay. Activity C, it says, listen. Which test do you think was the easiest for Max? Which do you think was the most difficult? Listen to Max doing the tests in Madrid and check your answers. Okay, so we're going to start with that. Listen to what happened and tell me what was difficult and what was easy for him. Okay.
3.38.
I arrived at Madrid airport where I met Paula. Hola, soy Max.
Encantada, soy Paula.
Paula took me to my hotel, and that evening we went to the center of Madrid, and it was time for my first test. I had to order a sandwich and a drink in a bar, then ask for the bill. I sat down at the bar and I tried to order a beer and a ham sandwich. Por favor, una cerveza y un bocadillo de jamón. Enseguida! Fantastic! The waiter understood me first time. My pronunciation wasn't perfect, but I got my beer and my sandwich. I really enjoyed it. But then the more difficult bit, asking for the bill. ¿Cuánto es? 6.90. ¿Cómo? 6.90. 6.90. I understood. Paula gave me 8 points for the test. I was very happy with that. Next, we went out into the street. Test number 2 was asking for directions and, very important, understanding them. We were in a narrow street, and I had to stop someone and ask them for the nearest chemist, una farmacia. I stopped a woman. At first, I didn't understand anything she said.
Siga todo recto y tome la segunda por la derecha. Hay una farmacia en esa calle.
I asked the woman to speak more slowly.
Todo recto y tome la segunda calle por la derecha. Derecha!
I got it this time, I think. The second street on the right. I followed the directions and guess what? There was a chemist there. 7 points from Paula. Test number 3. I wasn't looking forward to this one. I had to get a taxi to a famous place in Madrid. Paula wrote down the name of the place on a piece of paper. It was the name of the football stadium where Real Madrid play. We stopped a taxi. El Bernabéu, por favor. ¿Qué? ¿Dónde? He didn't understand me. I tried again, but he still didn't understand. I was desperate, so I said, Real Madrid Stadium, football.
Ah, el Santiago Bernabéu.
Finally! Paula only gave me 5 because I ended up using English. Still, at least I made the taxi driver understand where I wanted to go. And so, to the final test. I had to leave a message in Spanish on somebody's voicemail. I had to give my name, spell it, and ask the person to call me back. Paula gave me the number. It was one of her friends called Lola, and I dialed. I was feeling a bit nervous at this point because speaking on the phone in a foreign language is never easy.
Deje su mensaje después de la señal.
Buenas noches. Soy Max. Max. M-A-X. Por favor, llámame esta noche. Oh, yes. A las 8:30. Gracias. Well, my grammar wasn't right, but I left the message. Half an hour later, at 8:30, Lola phoned me. Success! Paula gave me 8 points. That was the end of my 4 tests. Paula was pleased with me. My final score was 7. I was quite happy with that. So, how much can you learn in a month? Well, of course you can't learn Spanish in a month, but you can learn enough to survive if you're on holiday or on a trip. Now I want to go back to England and try and learn some more. Adios!
I was thinking, now that you mentioned speaking to this man, that it exists El Club del Mate in downtown Buenos Aires. But they do meetings and they drink mate or coffee and they speak in English. So if you're interested, you can look it up because they have an Instagram page. So maybe you should look it up. I think it's El Club del Mate, I think.
I want to, teacher.
Yes, I went before the pandemic. So imagine like five years ago. But I don't know. Now I think they are still doing the same, but I haven't been there, so I don't know how it's like today. But it's nice, good practice if you feel like it.
El Club del Mate.
I like it.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. But check the website, and if you like the idea and if you feel comfortable, that's a good option. Okay, so the true or false. Let's see. Number 1 it was the waiter didn't understand Max. True or false?
False.
False.
False. Yeah, he got his sandwich, so false. Number 2, the bill was €6.
False.
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 €6, 90.
90.
Yeah, good. Number 3, the chemist's was the first street on the right.
False.
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 It was at Second Street.
Second Street.
Yeah.
The second one, good. Number 4, the driver understood the name of the stadium.
True.
True, but not at
First
first
time,
time.
no.
Wait, if you say true, but that is not true. True, but
It
no.
Yes,
has
finally
true.
understand,
Yeah.
but the first time, no.
Okay, so
50% true.
okay. I would say 30, but well, yes. It is false, okay? Because the first time he didn't understand anything, so he had to explain what he said. Okay, number 5. Max made a grammar mistake when he left the voice message.
False.
False.
True.
Okay. I listen. Why true, why false? In number 5.
I take Ventra.
Yeah,
Sorry?
he said
Number.
30.
And
It's not
His
a grammar
spell
mistake,
grammar.
but
the number 2.
Okay, so he made a mistake. Okay.
But
It
the
was
messenger was Sanders.
not a grammar mistake, but he made a mistake.
When he spelled the name.
He made a mistake when spelling, exactly. So there is a mistake, okay? So you're too nice. That's the thing. You're too nice. Okay, number 6. Max's final mark was 8.
False.
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 Yes,
7.
exactly. And number 7, Max says you can learn Spanish in a month.
False. Just for,
True.
True.
He,
Because he said this.
So
50-50. Okay, yeah, it's true that he says it is possible what? Because he's not learning the language, but
just a vacation or
To
holiday.
learn useful phrases for holidays.
okay, right, just enough to survive, right? So the basics, let's say.
Sería español para viajeros, como cuando se aprende rápido para viajar.
Exactly. When you say, okay, I have 5, 6 sentences that I need, and then some vocabulary, right? And again, you use it to survive. That's the thing. Okay, good, wonderful. So
¿Y qué sería, profe? ¿False o true?
it would be false because
Ah,
you're not learning the language. You're
claro,
just learning the basics, right?
claro. Yes.
So we have, let me check. Number 1 is false, number 2 is false, number 3 is false, number 4 is false, number 5 is true, 6 and 7 false. And we have, this is the last activity, activity 4, that says vocabulary modifiers, right? We have an example. My pronunciation of the stadium wasn't very good. I was feeling a bit nervous at this point. So we can use modifiers before adjectives. The one that's the most common one is very, right?
Yes.
Pero ya estamos en nivel 5 y como que very queda un poquito básico. So we have a bit, incredibly, not very, quite, really, very. So the bottom is not very, right? Not very.
Yes.
How would you organize these modifiers?
Incredible.
Incredibly.
Not very, a bit,
Really.
Really? Uh-huh.
Very. Quite.
Incredibly, really, very, quite,
A bit.
A bit.
a bit, and
And
Not very.
very.
not very. Exactly. So we have incredibly, really, very, quite, a bit, not very. A bit, it says we only use a bit before negative adjectives and adverbs. For example, a bit difficult or a bit slowly. So a bit usually has a negative connotation. Okay? And we have some sentences there. It says complete the sentences with one of the words or phrases that it makes a true sentence. Compare with a partner. So this activity is your personal opinion. Okay, I will give you 2 minutes to complete these sentences and then we share the results. So you have to use a modifier in each sentence. A
Quite good.
bit, come on.
quite.
Quite.
Quite. From very onwards, very, quite, incredibly, right? Come on. Number 2, I'm
Very motivated.
Very. Very.
very,
Mm.
really. Okay, wonderful. English pronunciation is
Incredible. For me.
A bit.
a bit, okay, good. A bit difficult. Come on. A little.
No, very.
Number 4, English grammar is
Very.
Very complicated.
Quite complicated.
Incredible.
quite, very, quite. Oh, look at that. Okay. Number 5, I'm
Quite.
A bite.
Incredible.
Very.
Not very.
Incredible.
okay, good. I'm glad no one used incredibly. That's good.
I'm incredible.
You
Worry
use-
about it. Yes.
Oh, come on. No, you shouldn't.
Well, I'm motivated. Very
good.
motivated.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, good. And number 6, English is
Really important.
Really.
Incredibly.
Very.
really, incredibly,
Not very important.
not very. Okay,
A
good.
bite.
A bit.
Bit.
Okay. Now, you have homework. Okay, that is activity 5 because it says speaking. Okay, so probably next well, we'll see. Next class we have to finish unit 7. We're going to finish the workbook. Okay, but what you will have as homework is activity 5. You have many questions that begin with have you ever. So this is present simple. Okay, present perfect, not simple, sorry, present perfect. So for example, have you ever spoken to a tourist in English? What would be the answer there?
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, but it would be yes, I have, or no, I haven't, right?
What person? A
No,
tourist.
a tourist, yeah. It doesn't
Ah,
matter the person, just someone. Okay. Then the question continues because it says when. So when was it? Why did you talk to this person? Right? So you have to use past simple there. Okay, remember that. The first question, the opening question, usually it is in the present perfect. But when you start asking for information and being specific about the information you're asking, then you have to use past simple. Okay, do you remember that?
Yes.
Yes. Only Juan. Okay, well, as homework, you'll have to work with these questions, okay, the answer to these questions. And yeah, only that. Work with the questions and start revising the unit, okay? Next week, we're going to finish the workbook in class. So if you have questions about the workbook or any activity we have done, we solve it in the class, okay?
okay.
All right. Okay, wonderful.